Hello everyone, myself Abhirami from St.Joseph College of Arts and Science, Cuddalore. Today our topic is spread spectrum and its types. Okay. In spread spectrum, we combine the signal from the different source to fit into a larger bandwidth, but our goals are to prevent eavesdropping and jamming. To achieve these goals, spread spectrum technique add redundancy. It is a modulation technique in which transmitted bandwidth is larger than the information signal. Bit root of spreading sequence is much higher than the input data. There are two methods can be used: frequency hopping spread spectrum and direct sequence spread spectrum. In this spread spectrum, a signal that occupies a bandwidth of B is spread out to occupy a bandwidth of BSS. All signals are spread to occupy the same bandwidth BSS. Signals are spread with different codes so that they can be separated at the receivers. Signals can be separated in frequency domain or in the time domain. These are the spread spectrum methods. The two approaches can be used: frequency hopping and direct sequence. Important is an encoding method for wireless communication. There is an analog and digital data with analog signals. Spreads data over wide bandwidth. Next, jamming and interception order. It is a pseudo random numbers. What is a pseudo number? The pseudo number is a starting from one initial state, generation by an deterministic algorithm. Pseudo number can be generated, and then need to know algorithm and see to predict the sequences. Okay, not actually random. If algorithm good, result spots a reasonable test of randomness. In this, sender will create the pseudo random number. Only receiver can decode the signal. This is a model of an spread spectrum signals. Okay, in this, input data will be passed to the channel encoder. Then modulator will be creating the sequence, and then a pseudo noise will be generating the pseudo random number. In this pseudo random number, and then original input will be added and then sent to the channel. This is a intermediate channel, and the intermediate channel will get the data and send back to the receiver. In this, demodulator will be receive data and then demodulate, decoding the data, and then a pseudo random number will be degenerated, and then channel will be decoded. Then the original output will be received to the receiver. In this way, the spectrum will be worked out. This is the spreading process. The spreading code will be generated. This is the original signal, and then will be generating the larger signals. The process will be increasing the bandwidth. This is the spread spectrum method. Okay, and what is the spread spectrum and their advantages? Immunity from noise and multiple path distortion, can hide encrypt signal. Several users can share same higher bandwidth with little interference. CDMA mobile telephones or some of the advantages. Frequency hopping spread spectrum. What is FHSS? FHSS is the method of transmitting radio signals by rapidly switching a carrier among many frequency channels using pseudo random numbers or pseudo noise sequence to know both transmitter and receiver. The advantage of the system is that signal sees a different channel and a different set of interfering signals during each hop, periodically changed according to the PN sequence. It's keep on changing. Transmitter and receiver frequency in synchronization method. A signal is then broadcast over seemingly random series of frequencies. A receiver hops between frequencies in synchronization with transmitter. Eavesdroppers hear unintelligible blips. Jamming on one frequency affects only few bits. This is a model of the FHSS. In this above diagram, for transmission, binary data are fed into the modulator using some digital to analog encoding scheme such as frequency shift keying or binary phase shift keying. A PN source serves as an indexed into a table and frequency each k bit into a PN source specifies one of the 2k carrier frequency. At each successive interval, a new carrier frequency is selected. This frequency is then modulated by the signal produced from the initial modulator to produce a new signal with the same shape. On reception, the spread spectrum signal is demodulated using the same sequence. A PN derived frequency and then demodulate to the produce the output. This is a random number. In this way, the frequency table will be created and then demodulator will be worked. This is an FHS cycle method. In this way, the data will be transmitted and data will be passed. The wideband spectrum can be divided into 8 frequencies. 8 frequencies. A frequency will be keep on changing. This is an hit ratios, hope periods, and then this is an carrier frequencies. In this way, a bandwidth sharing will be worked. In this bandwidth sharing, the frequency FDM method will be worked on. Assign individual users. User use those sub-brands and also not use another sub-brands. This is an FHS method, and this is a not a single user frequency bandwidth. Keep on changing the carrier frequency. Each and every frequency user data will be set. In this distributed over entire bandwidth. What is a slow and fast FHS? Commonly use multiple FSK. Have frequency shifted every TZ seconds. Duration of signal element is TS seconds. And then slow FHS has TZ greater than or equal to or less than or equal to TS. And then fast FHS has TZ less than or equal to TSS. And then FHS has to quite resistant to noise or jamming, with fast FHS giving better performance. This is an hoping time and then dwell times. A slow time will be mentioned as an hoping time. In slow hoping, multiple bits are transmitted on a specific frequencies or same frequency. And then fast hoping is an individual bits or split them into transmitted and different frequencies. This is a slow frequency method. This is a fast frequency method. This is a Bluetooth technology, and this in slow frequency is a GSM method. In this advantages of frequency hopping is then the bandwidth, the synchronization is not greatly depend on the distance. The serial search system with FHS needs a shorter time for acquisition. The processing gain GB is higher than that DSS system. A disadvantage is the bandwidth of FHS system is too large, complex and expensive digital. Frequency synthesizers are required to be used. In this mainly FHS applications are Bluetooth and walkie-talkies applications can be used. And next one is the DSS. What is the DSS? Direct sequence spread spectrum. In this, each bit is represented by the multiple bits using spreading code. This spreads signal across wider frequency band has performs similar to FHS. In this direct sequencing method will be worked on, the original signal will be sent and then modulator will be multiplying the chip generator. What is the chip generator? This is already seen about a pseudo random number. The pseudo random number will be creating the random numbers, and then random number will be added to the original signal, and then it will be passed to the spread signal. The information bit is multiplied with the chipping sequence. Each bit is represented by a multiple bits using spreading code. The spread signal across a wider frequency band in direct proportion to the number of bits used. In this GSS method will be worked. What is the advantage of DSS? It was very high degree of discrimination against the multiple path signals. Therefore, the self-interference caused by the multipath reception is minimized. In presence of noise, its performance is superior. It avoids the intentional interference, jamming effectively. What is the disadvantage of DSS? With serial search acquisition, time is very large, which makes it slow. The synchronization is affected by the variable distance between transmitter and receiver. The chipping sequence must have the high rate and length is also large enough to make the sequence truly random. This is a DSS method. This is the original signal, and the spreading code will be 1 will be the higher and 0 will be the lower input. In this way, the spreading code will be generated and passed to the. This is the spreading signal. In this transmission side, the input will be spreading. So the jamming will be avoided and the data will be secure transfer. In this way, the FHS and DSS method can be used in spread spectrum method. Thank you.